Thank you for joining us for our annual end of the year concert, spring concert / senior recognition night. We're very happy to not have it be on a rescheduled date, on a rescheduled place, and a rescheduled time, and all that fun stuff. We are very happy to have it here tonight in this gymnasium. Hopefully, last time we'll be in a gymnasium. With that being said, if there's any emergencies that happen, please be aware of the emergency exits on the sides. Hopefully nothing happens. The floor is wood, the instruments are wood. Don't need that. So, thank you all for coming. We're just going to get started. Could I please get a round of applause for our concertmaster, Atlas King. I always have a moment where I'm like, maybe I'll keep it on the stand, and then I just decide no, because I don't want to be more hunched than I already am. So, for our last piece for concert orchestra, we are playing A Pirate's Voyage. If you haven't noticed, there's kind of a theme for this concert. It started off with pieces of 8, and they picked it up really fast. Initially, I brought this out because it's like, you need to learn 6/8. And guess what? If it's pirate or Irish, it's most likely 6/8. So that kind of just took over from there. I did invite them to wear pirate hats. And none of them took me up on that offer. They will never do it again. So, we hope you enjoyed it so far. We're going to play A Pirate's Voyage. We're doing a quick set change as chamber comes up. As chamber is getting ready, I do want to just reflect on the night and what brings us here and the musicians performing for you. Tonight is our senior night, and a lot of our, as you go through the program, pull in any program such as this, we want to see students start at a young age, start, 5th grade, 6th grade, and continue up to high school. And a lot of our seniors that you'll see tonight performing and that we'll be honoring have done that. And as the year comes to a close, we ask a lot of big questions, right? Am I going to see this student for their playing final? It's been 3 weeks. Am I going to hear that tricky F sharp where it's supposed to be an F natural? And the students ask me, Mr. King, why does it matter? It's like, because it needs to sound good. If you don't play it right, it gets really rough, my guys, and it's not great. So they also ask me, Mr. King, what is it like going to college? Mr. King, how do I deal with my friendship that's going to be now separated because they're going to an entire other state? And I'm happy to be there for these students and be able to say, yeah, it's part of growing up, and these are challenges that we all face. But there's really one big question that the kids keep asking me, and I cannot wait for this to be over because then they'll finally stop. But actually, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Brady, can you please tune them? Our concert master, Brady Jacobson. Sorry about that. So back to big questions. The biggest question that they've been asking me, and I will also point out that this section of the concert is music that is selected by the seniors. Please keep that in mind. The big question that they ask me is, Mr. King, what does the fox say? he found the arrangement and said, "Can we?" And I said, "Yes." But we did it, and it was great. So now we're going to take a little trip into space for our next two songs. We have our Halo theme that's performed by Video Games Live, a touring video games music ensemble. That's all they play is video game music. This was selected in part with Donald Wilson and a little bit of Marlia Hudson in the back. Following that, we're going to go to Jupiter, which is, if you've been to a orchestra concert in the last, every year I've been here, we have played it at least once. That was picked by good old Mitchell Jacobs. And then our final piece, Scheherazade, is another piece that you may have heard before, but it's a lovely piece, and that was picked by Brady Jacobson. Scheherazade's not space related. That's 101 Arabian Nights. Thank you. It's one of those things where I say 101 and I keep thinking, am I confusing it with 101 Dalmatians? It's just my brain. So, hope you enjoy this.
Also, we have percussionists. I am so sorry. That was the actual point I wanted to make. We have Kara and Finn joining us on percussion. Thank you. Not coming to me. But I would also like to recognize that we are going to have Sophia Hanlon doubling the solo with Brady. And it's one of them. There's multiple, but there's one that they're doubling. So, pardon my mistake. Want to make that clear now.
this time, I would like to pass it over to our senior, how do I word this? Senior acknowledgement leaders, captains. Okay. I'm just going to pass it over. Please welcome Danny and Lana.
I'm Danny Perry. I'm Lana Champion. Thank you for coming tonight to support GRB Orchestra, the final concert of the school year. And at this time, we would like to recognize all of our 2026 orchestra seniors and their accomplishments. Thank you and enjoy. I need Sophia.
I'm coming.
Donald Belson has been a staple in our orchestra program since elementary school. He is extremely gifted at the cello. He has dedicated himself to his craft and it shows every day. While Donald is very talented at his instrument, it should be also noted that Donald's sense of humor is just as awesome as his playing. He's always quick with a joke, making people smile every single day in and outside of the orchestra room. Donald's favorite memory is his lessons with Mr. King. 3 years of hard work under Mr. King's guidance have certainly paid off. He went from elementary strings to a sound that is now crisp, clear, and very pleasant to listen to. As Donald prepares to take his final bow with chamber ensemble, he's heading off to SUNY Oswego to study adolescence education and social studies. Donald, thank you for the years of dedication, the wonderful music you have made, and for keeping us all laughing. The cello section will be a little quieter and a lot less funny without you, but we know you're going to be an incredible educator and historian. Congratulations, Donald Belson. We're so proud of you.
Unforeseen circumstances, Evie was unable to attend tonight. This is originally written by Evie, but we would like to recognize Maria Hudson next. I haven't had many interactions with Maria, but here's what I have learned. She is strong, kind, and an independent person. Last year, we had Darien Lake Six Flags field trip, and she asked me to hang out. I ended up having a blast. Due to her friendship, she's a wonderful young lady, without a doubt in my heart. I admire Maria for how far she has come in the past 7 years. She has been in orchestra, and I admire her for where she is going. She plans to go off to Cayuga Community College for her basics in physical therapy to become a pediatric physical therapist at Upstate. We are sad to see Maria go, but we wish her the best for her future.
Got a little quiet.
We would next like to recognize Mitchell Jacobs. Mitchell and I have been stand partners for nearly 3 years now, and while I didn't know much about him before, this is what I have learned at that time. Mitchell appears to be reserved at first, but the more you get to know him, you find out he's a very social person. He's somewhat stubborn and very witty. Most importantly, Mitchell is determined and he has accomplished everything he has set his mind to. Having that kind of mindset is hard to come by, so we have to take one thing away from orchestra, let it be that. Mitchell is going into the workforce after graduating because, as he said, life is like a sandwich. Either way you flip it, the bread comes first. I will miss having Mitchell as my student partner, and I speak for everyone when I say that we are so proud of Mitchell's accomplishments and we wish him the best for the future.
Hey, my name is Anilion. If you know me, then you know that last year I did a poem for Ren, so I did the same thing for Brady. Brady, when I look back to you and me, the first time we met, I chuckle and think about how I never really knew how deep our connection could get. The times you offered me a shoulder to cry on, or the times you comforted me when you noticed I was more withdrawn. Your heart is so kind. With you, I don't have to feel like I'm lagging behind. You keep my pace, always a smile on your face. You never judge, never think I'm too much, and never fail to include me. What may seem small has brought back the confidence and happiness that I thought I would never again see. With you, Brady, you make me feel seen. You're like a brother, a mother, a father, a friend. Honestly, Brady, I don't think I'll be able to take it when our time together ends. But for all these beautiful memories we have created together, I truly hold them dear, and if I were to ask you for just one last thing, it would be to keep you for just one more year. I'm very proud of Brady, as he will be attending St. John Fisher this fall, majoring in nursing. We will all miss Brady, as he was a wonderful member of our orchestra family.
Rojas has played in our orchestra for 8 years. He's does good too. He's really, really good. He's really talented, but he works hard too. And he really cares about music. I think he's a really good person and a really good friend. And I used to some stuff in music can get kind of stressful, yeah. But he makes it really funny. He's really funny, and it makes it all really fun. And it's been really great to get to know him. And we're all gonna really miss him. But you're going to do really good. He's going to the City College of New York for jazz studies. We're all gonna miss him, but he's gonna do a really good job. We're gonna give like.
Although these are all the like legit seniors, we have one more student we'd really like to recognize, as he's not going to be with our orchestra next school year, and I really need Declan to come up here. He didn't think he was getting this, so I wrote this. Declan and I, we played the cello together for about 4 years now, give or take, and although we may have only muttered like three good words to each other, we've definitely become pretty good friends. Been through some real thick and some real thin. Sometimes he'll move to the back with me from his second chair, and I'll say, "Oh, is today an ego boost day?" And he says, "Yes." He's such a good friend, I know. It is all jokes. I've never taken it to heart, because he knows I'd roast him in a singing battle, so it doesn't even matter. Nonetheless, Declan has chosen to cap off his junior year at GRB and finish off high school to begin his first year of college at Clarkson University. He's an incredibly smart young chap. He's been an honor roll student for all 3 years, high honor roll student for all 3 years of high school, been in multiple APs, just a straight smart cookie. And on top of that, he's an extremely talented cellist. He doesn't just focus on the instrument in school. He participates in the OCYO and has attended multiple all-county festivals. On behalf of the entire GRB Orchestra family, we all wish Declan the best of luck on his move. Now, legit, these are all of our 2026 seniors. Bow. Yeah, bow.
Brady, do you want to go, or would you like me to go? Okay. You go first.
So we are going to have one quick me and then a final speech by Brady Jacobson. So we're playing who's going to go first. So, admittedly, even though this is my 3rd year now doing this, and I know and I hope that there's multiple years to come of doing this, I still once again have not written out anything that I want to say. And we're just going to kind of roll with it as we do. But every time we get to this concert, I take a moment and I think through, the days of, are we going to get there in time? Are we going to be able to play the songs? Are we going to be able to really make this a night that's not just a concert and a performance, but something that these students, both in concert orchestra and chamber, can walk away going, hey, I did a good job and I feel good about the last concert of the year. And I reflect to our seniors as well, because it's not lost on me that this is their last one. And I always hope that they leave and they go and they go, yeah, I left on a high note. I feel awesome about how this went. And it's always such a bittersweet night, because yes, I will see them for the next few weeks as we're trying to figure out what are we going to do in orchestra now that we don't have any concerts. Which, if you're coming to STEAM night, there'll be some of us there. But it's not the same. And then you get into field trips and you get into everything else, and there's less days. And then you get to Regents Week, and I'm just here cleaning and organizing and getting stuff ready for next year, and they're taking tests, or if they're lucky to not have Regents, they're sleeping to get actual rest again. And it still comes back to there's no, in my opinion, no music program stands just off of their teacher. It goes off of what the students bring in, what they as individual are able to do, and what they add to the program. At the end of the day, I'm here to guide them. That's it. Everything that you see up here, everything that they put out and they show and they perform is them. I can't play the violin for them in the concert. I can't play the bass on them. I can't magically teleport and mind control and do it. It's their work. And every year, it's still hard to see some of the hardest workers and some of the hardest, most dedicated players leave. And for this group of graduating class of 2026, it's really heartbreaking. And they're going to be missed, not just by their peers, but by me. I mean, next year's going to be a mess because they were freshmen when I was my first year. That's going to be rough. But as the time goes on, I've spent more time with you, and I've got to know you more and see the ups, see the downs, see the weird side things, conversations I wish I never heard. They hang out in the room constantly, and they think that I can't hear them, but I'm a music teacher for a reason. So, I know going forward, these students are going to do a fantastic job. And I'm going to probably say that next year for the next group, and the next year, and every year, I do genuinely mean it. All these students before you have done fantastic work and amazing things, and I hope that each and every one of you are proud of your students, as I'm proud of them as well. And I thank you all for the time you've been here, the fact that I took over after your freshman year, and you guys have stuck through, that you've done so much great work, and it's truly been an honor to know you all and be able to help you and work with you. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Hello everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brady Jameson. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Brady Jameson, and I'm just gonna end up tonight with a heartfelt speech. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming here and being here for us. If you ask me, honestly, what I remember and what we'll remember most about orchestra, it's not the music I've learned, but the people I've learned with. When I come to orchestra, it's not like I'm walking into a rehearsal. I'm walking into a family. I'm gonna miss everything about orchestra. The laughs, tears, the anger, the annoyance, everything. Even if it wasn't all amazing, I know I will never experience anything like this environment again. There's just nothing like it out there. To all the underclassmen who are here in orchestra, I will miss all of you. Doesn't matter whether I get along with you or not. I will always remember all of you. Almost all of you have become what I consider very close friends in life, especially you and I. You're my best friend. I hope that when the other seniors and I leave, we get a special place in all of your hearts, and you don't forget us. I know it's a lot to ask, but even if it's just the tiniest place, I'll take it. From all of my fellow seniors, thank you all for being my friends. I love all of you guys so much. I'm proud to say that I'm graduating with you all, which is good because I can't say that for all of the seniors. All of us are taking a huge step into our lives. Whether it's going to college or going into the workforce, right after graduation, it's a huge step. I hope I can keep in touch with all of you, and we can still manage to stay friends. But I know that's a lot to ask, but I hope we can all be friends still. Even if we don't all stay connected, I have no doubts all of us will achieve great things and get everything we dream of. And finally, to Mr. King, there genuinely aren't enough ways in the world to say thank you for everything you've done for us. You take so much time to teach us so many things and help us learn and make our way through our lives. And on top of that, you do actually put up with us. I can't speak for all the other seniors, but you've helped me through so much in my life over these past 3 years. You've always been a role model to me, and as we've gone through these years together, you've inspired me to do so much with my life. You've helped me through tough times and very difficult situations, and I can't thank you enough for that. I can say with absolute certainty and confidence that you are the best teacher I've ever had and will ever have. Thank you for everything. Lastly, thank you to everyone, all of the audience, family, friends who have come to support the orchestra's goal. Without you guys, we'd be performing to no one, and that wouldn't be as much fun as performing to an audience that listens. Even if our music isn't always the best, you still show up and support us. Thank you so much, everyone.
With that, thank you for coming tonight. I do have to ask, just because of how the doors are set up, if you could please let the orchestra members go first so they can pack their things up, and then families leave, so that way these instruments are really expensive. But thank you so